everyone, welcome back or welcome in. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe and join us. Today's video is primarily centered on creating this eye look with the Juvia's Place Nomad palette here. As you can see, I ended up mostly in this green category here. Of course, I also do the rest of this fairly glam look on camera as well, so stick around if you're interested in either of those two. And please consider commenting on this video or liking it if you enjoyed it, because that really helps me as a small creator here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and get right into the eye look. Alright, so I'm starting with eyes today because this is my first time using this palette, and if there's any fallout or anything under my eyes, I just prefer to be able to clean that up before I do my complexion products. So I'm using the Juvia's Place Nomad palette, and I'm really playing in this column over here primarily with these green tones today, and I'm going to start with this one in the bottom corner and use that as my transition shade on my eye. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush. This is my Morphe M433 brush, and I think it's natural bristles, just a heads up, not cruelty free from my previous makeup life. And I'm just going to blend this into my crease with barely any product on the brush, and I'm really just going to use these circular and sweeping motions to blend it all out seamlessly, because although I think Juvia's Place did a great job formulating these greens, I think sometimes I don't know if it's just like my skin tone or my eyeshadow technique or what, but greens sometimes look really patchy on me if I don't blend super carefully and in very small layers. So I'm just going in with a second layer here, same exact process, almost no product on my brush. And I'm especially blending kind of up and into this corner because you'll see I really am wanting this dark green that I'm going to add next to show through. So I'm just creating a base for that where it can lay on top of this. And now that I'm happy with the level of saturation I have here, I'm going to go ahead with a smaller brush and dip into the deepest matte green up at the top here. And I won't lie, I was really intimidated by this shade at first. But you'll see here, if you just put it on in nice light layers, it really is easy to blend. The quality of these eyeshadows, especially these deeper shades, just blew my mind. So I just kind of drag in a V from the top point where I want the color to end down into about a third of or a half sometimes of the way through my eyelid here. And I'm going to build that up a little bit with this brush, and then I'll blend it out with a fluffier one. And then I've got another brush here. I didn't put any product on it. I'm just using it as a means to blend that green into the transition shade I already had. And then I'm just going to repeat that process until I'm happy with the amount of saturation with this dark green shade here to get it to match this side. Okay, so just so you all are aware, I did 2 more coats of the green out here and blended it out just like I did that first time around until I got it to a point where I feel like this side and this side look about the same. So now I'm going to move into this greeny gray shimmer shade here. This is a super unique shade. I don't have anything like it in my collection, and I'm going to take it just on my ring finger and I'm going to pat it on about the outer 2/3 of my eyelid. So I'm going to just pat it all the way across. And I did have a little bit of fallout with this shade when I was doing the other side, but it looks like I'm not having too much here. So it's possible that that was user error and I just had too much on my finger on the first time around. And then for this pop of brighter shade on my inner corner, I went in with the champagne shade in the middle here of the palette. Got just a little bit of that on my pinky finger. And then I'm going to use a mirror here because it's a little hard for me to see on my camera. And I'm just going to pop that right on the inner corner here. And then I'm going to blend it into the green shimmer shade I have on the rest of my lid just a little bit so that there's a nice transition there between the two. All right, I'm going to make sure I wipe out any fallout from those shades prior to starting my complexion. I am going for a little bit more of a glam look today because of these eyeshadow colors. So I'm going to go in with my NYX Angel Veil Primer and just smooth that over any of the areas on my face where I'm feeling like my pores are particularly obvious. And I don't know if it's just me or if others have this problem too, but in the winter, I feel like my pores and fine lines are more pronounced, even if I'm still moisturizing properly. And then I'm gonna do my concealer next today. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I love this for a more full coverage look, especially if I wear it beneath my foundation. I feel that really makes a huge difference. Just blending this out with actually a small eyeshadow brush from Real Techniques, and I'm gonna carefully clean up this edge a little bit as well. And then for my foundation today, I really want to use my Sen Skin Silk foundation, but it is a little bit too yellow for my skin, and maybe even a little bit too dark right now. And so I'm gonna mix in a new product to me. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer, and this is in the shade Light 5N, and the Sun was in shade 20 in case you're curious. And this tinted moisturizer is a little bit too pink and light for me right now, so I'm kind of hoping that the two mixed will give me still a good amount of coverage, but get the right shade. Still looks like it's gonna be a little deep on me, but that's all right. And I'm blending that all in with a damp sponge. I'm gonna go ahead and powder under my eyes so that we can finish up the lower lash line of this eye look. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder in the shade 10 Fair Light. This is not a cruelty-free product. I'm trying to use it up. All right, heading back into the palette, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this transition shade on my brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pinch that so it's nice and flat and run it underneath my eyes about 2/3 of the way in. Okay, and then I feel like the top half of my eyes need to be balanced out just slightly with this darker green, so I'm gonna go in with that small brush that I used earlier with the dark green. Tap off the excess just to make sure I don't have too much on there. And I'm gonna try to put this just on like the outer third of my lash line here. All right, so I thought about doing an inner corner highlight or some shimmer on the bottom, but I'm actually really liking how it looks with just the shimmer on my lids. So I'm gonna leave it and call the eyes done with shadow for now. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows and mascara off camera, and I'll be back to finish the complexion. All right, back with the lashes and brows done. As always, any steps I do off camera will have the products listed down in the description box below. Okay, I'm going in with my Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick today in the shade Baked. I just love this, especially for more glam looks. I just think that it's stunning finish on any foundation I've ever used it with. And I think today, after I do this cream bronzer, I might powder my whole face down just for more of a matte look. Both of the foundations I use today are a little more on the dewy or fresh satiny side, and I am really liking how this is coming together as more of a glam look. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and powder everything before doing blush and bronzer. So that means I'll just be taking that same Maybelline Fit Me powder I was using before. Okay, and the blush I chose for this today is the Primer Infused Blush in Always Earthy from e.l.f. This is a relatively new product to me, and it is so pigmented, so I have to be super careful to tap most of it off of my brush before I actually go in, because it is like extremely pigmented. So it's maybe not picking up on camera as much as it does in person, but oh my gosh, this blush, if you have trouble with getting blush to show up on your skin, these are really great. And I love this shade because it's kind of like a terracotta-y color. It's very fall toned, and I feel like it just complements my bronzer really well. So it just kind of provides a seamless transition between the blush and the bronzer, and kind of just looks like there's one product on my cheek. And actually, when I was recently a wedding guest, I was trying to get my makeup done pretty quickly because I was also doing the brides. And I actually skipped bronzer altogether and only put this on and then a little bit of highlight because it is a matte blush. And I just thought it turned out so beautifully because it is kind of more of those browny, orangey undertones. And then sticking with the Juvia's Place theme I've got going on today, I'm gonna go ahead and use their highlighter. This is the Tribe Highlighter in volume 3. And I have used this before on camera and also just on my own time, and it's absolutely beautiful. It is certainly very glowy. You can build it up to be very intense, which is not always my style with highlighter, but I am gonna do a little more than usual today just because of this glam look I've got going on. So you'll see it is kind of more of like a neutral leaning towards silvery undertone, so more of those cool colors. And I don't have anything like that in my collection. Everything else I have is pretty warm toned, and I think this, especially like in these winter months when my skin is a little lighter, is going to be just stunning. Take a little bit of that down my nose and across my cupid's bow as well. I'm just gonna brush it lightly underneath my eyebrows. All right, and last but not least, I have my lip combo for the day. This is the NYX Slim Lip Pencil in the shade Nude Beige. So this is a really good nude tone for me. Their shade in this pencil called Nude Pink is my favorite for when I just need to define my lips, but I don't want to add any particular undertones because it's almost identical to my lip color. But this one is a little more brown on me, as you can see, and I really love that for any kind of fall tone lip. I love to pair it with this because it really brings out those fall vibes. Okay, and then this is not a cruelty-free product, but I'm trying to use it up, and also I love this shade, so it might feature heavily this fall and winter while I'm using it. And it's the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in the shade Dance Fever. And this shade is just beautiful. I don't know how they do it. I really need to find a replacement for this shade because it's like pink but brown and light but deep and fall but winter and spring, and I think it's a beautiful shade, and I need to find something similar in a cruelty-free alternative. See what I mean? It's just a perfect shade. It's like pink and orange and brown and peach and everything, and I just love it. All right, and this is the final look for today. It just really screams fall. This palette really blew me away, so expect to see this featured pretty heavily on my channel moving forward. I just think the colors are so rich and pigmented, but they're still really easy to blend and work with. So those are two of the top factors I look for in eyeshadow, and I am really excited to try out some of the other shades in that palette. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, commenting down below, and liking this video. All of those actions really help my channel grow as a small YouTuber, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.